In celebration of Africa Month, the Steve Biko Foundation, the University of Fort Hare, and the Robert Sobukwe Trust will be hosting the 10th Robert Sobukwe Memorial Lecture. The lecture is a celebration of the contributions of one of South Africa's most eminent persons of Pan Africanist, Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe, and his early expressions of an African Renaissance. Dr. Julius Garvey, the son of the pioneer of the Pan Africanism movement, Marcus Garvey, is the man who's going to be delivering the lecture on Africa Day, which of course is tomorrow, the 25th of May, at the University of Fort Hare's Alice campus. So to tell us more about this year's lecture and what we're going to be focusing in on, what we'll hear more about, is Ms. Obanebwa Amponsa, the CEO of the Steve Biko Foundation, and of course, what an honor to have Dr. Julius Garvey in studio with us as well. Welcome to both of you. Thank you for coming in. Good morning.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You and I were just chatting, saying how fast time flies, because we seem to have an annual discussion whenever the lecture comes around. Yes. This is the time we get together. This is a fantastic year, however. What a wonderful speaker you have managed to get this year.
Well, we are very honored that Dr. Garvey accepted our invitation and traveled all the way from New York to be with us and really to mark this moment. As you indicated, this is the 10th Robert Sobukwe Memorial Lecture that's held annually with the Robert Sobukwe Trust as well as the University of Fort Hare. And it's a particularly special year because it is Fort Hare's 100th anniversary.
Yeah. When you asked, and I suppose the proposal came to you to deliver this lecture, what made you jump on board? Why did you feel this was yours?
I mean, it was such a distinct honor to be in a place with so much history and so much Pan-African history. I've been a Pan-Africanist since, as far as I can remember, being in my father's household. And I have read of these giants, Steve Biko and Robert Sobukwe, and to be in a place that's honoring them, and to be in a place of honor that's honoring them, is sort of beyond my wildest dreams. So I was very, very honored, and I jumped at the opportunity.
Wonderful.
And here I am.
What are you focusing in on during your lecture?
Well, basically, you know, one of the problems with us as African people is that we've been disconnected from our history. And because of that, you know, my father said that people without a knowledge of their culture and history is like a tree without roots. And this is exactly where I see African people. We're not connected to all the things that have happened in terms of our lived experience. Yeah. I mean, for example, right here in South Africa, you have the Cradle of Humanity. Now, how many African people really connect to that, to realize that right here in South Africa, you have the earliest human beings, which goes back 150,000 years. And there was a period of time when there was nobody but African people for more than 100,000 years. And that is very, very special, you see, and particularly here in South Africa. I mean, history didn't start with 1652. It started, like I said, more than 150 years ago. Yeah. And there's been a continuous lived experience, which is not valorized, it's not taught in the schools. And the tradition, in terms of our oral history coming to us through parents and grandparents, that has been broken, because the educational system has broken that, and the invasion of our cultural space by the British and the Boers has prevented that from happening, so that the young people are alienated from the older people, feeling that the tradition is not of value, because they see that the power structure does not represent who they were. Yeah. So they're floundering and they don't know what to do. So I think it's important for them to know themselves. They have to know their history, because what has been can be again. My father used to call it the redemption of Africa. And this is what we have to do. We have to redeem our African heritage and make it a part of our lived experience and learn the lessons from the past, because our past is significant, because it has always been about human beings. It has always been about how do human beings live in society. That's the basis of civilization. And we go all the way back to Tasseti, which is Nubia, and we go back to Egypt and all the other civilizations in Africa. That's what they've all been about. And it comes now down to Ubuntu, which is also African humanism. So that has to be revitalized, because the world needs that as a paradigm.
Very, very inspiring. I mean, this is going to be one of those incredible talks. I'm sure it's going to leave a mark on many people that do attend it. And I think what's so significant this year, and we can hear from what Dr. Garvey is saying, is that it coincides with Africa Day.
Yes.
So Africa Month, Africa Day, the lecture is taking place. I'm sure this is not all a coincidence.
Definitely not a coincidence. I think when we look at the national calendar, there are really two dates on which Robert Sobukwe's legacy stands head and shoulders above others. The first would be Sharpeville, now Human Rights Day, March 21st, but also Africa Day, really because of Sobukwe's stature as a Pan-Africanist. And as you said in the intro, someone who very early on spoke to the unity and dignity of African people. And so we're looking to revive and revitalize some of that conversation tomorrow. And as Dr. Garvey indicated, it's really about helping communities, and in particular young people, understand the past so we have a better context for the present and we're able to create innovative solutions for the future.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. So it's happening tomorrow. It's happening at the Steve Biko Center.
Yes.
And at the, which has become home to the lecture, Fort Hare University. So entrance is free. Can anybody go
Entrance is free.
Wonderful.
We highly encourage people to come and see us. They can find details of the lecture on our website, which is www.sbf.org.za. It will also be live streaming, and they can access those details through our website, and it will be broadcast on radio as well, the University of Fort Hare's radio station.
Fantastic. Well, listen, what an honor, and what an honor to have had you here and to take time off from your practice, because I know that you have your own hospital out in New York as well.
Not a hospital, but I work at a hospital. And I'm still practicing, but I'm slowing down.
You're slowing down now?
Yes, yes.
You're allowed to. You're allowed to. And spread the message. Doctor, what a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so very, very much.
It's been my pleasure to be here.
I'm sure those that are going to attend are going to have one of the best lectures they've had in a while. Dr. Julius Garvey is going to be giving the annual lecture. And this is, of course, the lecture that takes place every year. It's the 10th Robert Sobukwe Memorial Lecture, and it will be happening tomorrow on Africa Day. Obanewa Ompwansa, who is the CEO of the Steve Biko Foundation, thank you for being with us as usual. Thank you very, very much. All right, let's take a break. We'll see you after this.